Hello everyone and welcome to another Fowl original. This video is made in part thanks to the Fowl original people over on Patreon, patreon.com/fowloriginal. More details towards the end of this video. In 1991, the WWF, now WWE, would invade the arcades once more. Check out our previous two videos on the other games from 1991. This time we look at the third WWE video game of 1991, WWF WrestleFest. The game was developed and published by Japanese developer Technos Japan. The game was released to the arcades in Europe and Australia in 1991 and North America in June of the same year. A lot of the things that worked well for the previous outing in the arcade by Technos Japan, WWF Superstars, are here. Check out one of our previous videos in this series for a deeper look into that. The gameplay is based on a grappling and attack system. When a player has initiated a grapple, they can throw them or Irish whip them into the ropes. They can also go into a headlock, allowing them to perform two character-unique grapple moves. Each of the wrestlers also have standing strikes, such as punches and kicks, running attacks like shoulder blocks, running counters like back body drops, ground attacks like elbow drops, and top rope moves too. There is a slight difference though, as the engine has been slightly changed so that now the moves that you perform depend on the wrestler you're using, the kind of attack you use, the health of your opponent, and some random engine magic. This means that if you have Ted DiBiase putting someone in a grapple and hit the punch button, you could either hit a pile driver, a suplex, backstabber, or the $1 Million Dream sleeper hold finisher. This could end up being quite frustrating when you want to hit a particular move, but the randomized nature can lead to some fun multiplayer sessions. Like its predecessor, there is also a referee present in the ring to count pins and count you out, but just like before, you cannot attack the ref, either accidentally or on purpose. The game supports up to 4 people playing simultaneously and features 2 distinct modes. Either the new Royal Rumble mode. This is geared more towards a single player experience. You take one of the 10 playable characters and attempt to work your way through a Royal Rumble over the top Battle Royal. Then there's the Saturday Night's main event mode. This is the most fun mode I would say for playing with friends. You and a friend pick 2 wrestlers to form a tag team and then work through a series of tag matches. This features a WWF Tag Team title match with the Legion of Doom. This mode also allows you to do double team tag moves with your chosen team. In these tag team matches, the player waiting on the apron will power up after a certain amount of time. This functions almost like a hot tag, and they'll be temporarily able to inflict more damage and have a better chance of winning grapples. This can also be achieved by a player inserting another credit into the machine, adding that extra layer that can turn the tables in a match quite quickly and out of nowhere. Also, of course, players can buy in using a credit at any time if they want to get involved in a matchup from one of the 4 available slots. The game also takes a few cues from the 1989 WWF Superstars, with interview segments in between matches. Also some really fun transitions showing the number of matches you have left when you don't get the segments. There are again brand new animations for all of the wrestlers, plus of course the new tag team animations, which brings a whole new depth to the gameplay. This game may have seen some of the biggest improvements in the graphics of the game, mainly of course due to the extra power provided by an arcade unit. The sprites are again big and colourful here. There are 5 characters on screen at one time, as well as a heaving, impressive crowd in the background, cheering and jeering respectively. Mostly cheering though. What's really nice here is the attention to detail that's been put into the creation of all of the art assets in this game. There are changing ring mats for the different shows you're on. The actual ring is beautiful to look at, and there's definitely been a lot of love poured into this project. The sprites are very recognizable as well, with no doubt who you are looking at. The overall aesthetic is cartoony, but I for one like this style. The animations are beautiful, and we even get to see the iconic blue steel cage make an appearance in this game. Game's 10 playable characters are Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, Big Boss Man, Jake the Snake Roberts, Mr. Perfect, Sergeant Slaughter, Earthquake, Ted DiBiase, Smash and Crush from Demolition. They also have Road Warrior Hawk and Road Warrior Animal of the Legion of Doom, but these cannot be selected from an actual arcade unit of the game. It has been discovered through ROM hacking though that there are cheats you can use in the arcade emulator MAME to play as either one or both of them. There is the option for a second player to buy in and enter a credit into the machine when you are facing the Legion of Doom in the main event single player mode. This will allow the second player to control Hawk and actually be able to continue playing as this team if they win. There are of course some weird glitches and issues if you play as the Legion of Doom. Worst one being if you try to hit their double team finisher, the Doomsday device. If this is not set up in a very particular part of the ring, then Hawk will not go up to the top rope. The timer will then have to be allowed to reach 0 or the game will need to be reset. So if you use them, beware. There is a looping theme throughout the intro and between some of the matches. The actual matches feature one of 6 pieces of background music. They are all epic, pumping songs, and you can imagine these being played loudly over the speakers in arcades all over the world. There's also a lot of digitized speech, just like its arcade predecessor. The matches start with WWF ring announcer Mike McGurk introducing the match and all of the competitors in the match. This is taken for granted these days, but back in 1991 this was a great addition to the overall experience. Plus, of course, we get a return of Mean Gene Okerlund as well. All of the sound effects and Foley work are now digitized as well. There's a roaring crowd in the background and you can hear the wrestlers grunt and hits. This adds to the over-top cartoony nature of the game, but is another technical leap for professional wrestling games, becoming a staple of the arcade games and slowly making it into the console ports. The game received praise on its release for its pick-up and play experience, over-the-top cartoony graphics and technical achievements. This game was the first introduction to the world of professional wrestling for a lot of people. Fans and game developers alike have cited it as one of the best arcade professional wrestling games. With up to 4 players able to compete simultaneously, this was the arcade wrestling experience of the early 1990s. Skipping ahead a little bit and looking to the future, due for release in the summer of 2020 is a new game from the same team from Technos Japan called Retromania. This will be released for PC, Switch, PS4 and Xbox One. This is the official sequel to the 1991 WWF WrestleFest without the WWE license this time round. Already boasting a great roster of independent wrestlers from many different promotions, such as the NWA. The pre-release footage of gameplay and aesthetic have that WrestleFest feel. The game features old school sprites of wrestlers from today. I mean, just look at Nick Aldis here. It's great. This game's retro feel has captured many fans' imaginations, myself included. With more details and names coming all the time, we'll definitely look into that game in more detail very soon. Next time, we look at the first of 3 games released in 1993, going from the large screen of the arcade down to the small screen of the Nintendo Game Boy. A sequel to the 1989 portable WWF Superstars on the Nintendo Game Boy, WWF Superstars 2. Did you play WrestleFest in the arcades? What do you think of Retromania? Sound off in the comments. A special thank you to our new Patreons over on patreon.com/FowlOriginal. As of the middle of April 2020, these videos are partially funded by people like you over on my Patreon. You'll see their names on screen right now. This episode was released first to the folks over on Patreon as early access content before it hits YouTube. Become one of Fowl Original's pals, or as we call them, FOPs. If you join our community, you can get behind the scenes content and a chance to see regular exclusive content you won't see here on YouTube. Head to patreon.com/FowlOriginal and pick your tier. The tiers start from $1 and may not seem like much, but your support means a hell of a lot. It's like you've given me a vote of confidence. If you can't, then sharing this video really helps too. Like the video if you did, subscribe and hit the bell if you would, share if you can. This has been a Fowl Original. Thanks for watching. See you next time.